Today, we want to take you on a new journey of a new dimension. Before we do that, I do want to share a story. I have worked with a lot of retailers in the US for the last decades. One of them is called the Target stores. It's a giant store with 1,800 locations throughout the country. We noticed that every time when there's a natural disaster, such as a tornado or a snowstorm, they would place very large orders for fragranced candles. And we were always very surprised. Why fragrance candles? Why not tea light and tapers and flashlight? Surely you need them to fight the power shortage. So their answer really surprised us. Apparently, when people are getting ready to move to a shelter, in addition to the necessities, they bring candles with them because they know for the next few days, the next few months, or weeks, they'll be separated. They'll be worried about their home, their friends and family. Nothing will be the same. They want to hold on to things that make them feel calm, peaceful, the sense of normalcy. So you see, our sense of smell really brings all these emotions in a time of challenge. So, Paule, what do you think our sense of smell also do?
Thank you, Mei, and thank you, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here. I knew there was a lot of people here, but I'm seeing so many beautiful faces. And I'm very excited to really talk to you about a topic that is really dear to my heart and to Mei's heart as well, which is the sense of smell. From the story that Mei shared, it really makes a lot of sense. We know that the sense of smell, certain scents can actually stimulate the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, which really stimulate our sense of happiness and well-being. But beyond that, our sense of smell is very important in our daily lives, whether we recognize it or not. So if you enjoyed your lunch this afternoon and you were able to really appreciate the flavor of the different things that you tasted, it's really the combination of smell and taste. So the perfect food is really much about smell as it is of taste. But it's also very important for bonding. So many mothers will share a story about, oh, my baby smell. What is that baby smell? And how does that really contribute to bonding? So our sense of smell plays a role in our daily lives, whether we see it or not. Maybe you have thought about, oh, there's a dead mouse in my kitchen, and you're smelling it, right? So that often we associate bad smells, and we think about bad smells and not necessarily the positive smells and what that also could bring to us.
Interesting. So our sense of smell is very indicative of the things that we have experienced in our lives and the memories that it brought up. There's a reason for that, and I think it's because it's one of the most engaged during evolution. How do we actually smell as humans?
Well, I'm going to have to get into a little bit of biology, so bear with me. So one of the things that is important to really discern is that, for example, you see the slide on our screen where we have a rose. So many of us can actually perceive the aroma of the rose. But how do we actually get to really think that it's a rose? So you have these molecules, right, that go into the nostrils, and it will go to different structures within the nose, like the olfactory epithelium, which you might see highlighted here, as well as the olfactory bulb. And humans have over 400 olfactory receptors. So we have evolved to be able to detect complex aromas and complex scents around us. And then once these receptors are activated, they send signals into the brain to tell us different messages, whether to discern, oh, this is a rose, or this is the smell of spoiled milk. But it also is directly linked to the limbic system, which we heard Dr. Brooks mention yesterday. And it has the hypothalamus, as well as other areas that are very important for memory, emotion, and learning. So it's that one sense that is really directly linked and bypasses other structures directly linked into the limbic system. So this is one of the reasons why, as Sarah mentioned, as she was introducing us, that smell that evokes memories and emotions, that is the limbic system at work.
So that means when you are eating your favorite cookie, it's not just a taste. It's probably what brings back the memory of your grandparent or your grandmother making that cookie. And it's probably why I hate certain men's cologne, because it brought up that boyfriend who wants, to wear that fragrance all the time. So whenever that fragrance is close, I'm in a bad mood. So now we want to also have a fun activity. I know that we're not dancers. We can't really sing, but what we can do is to ask you, please open the packet that comes with, it doesn't come automatically today. There are a lot of people who work very hard to bring it all the way to London. So please open that paper pack and look for that fragrance card called Renew. And for those who's not in person but online, we are sorry, we did not ship those to you. So we would like you to imagine, what will the fragrance Renew entail? Please type your answers. We can see if you have the notes or not. And I'd like to ask you to unwrap the plastic, smell the Renew, and tell me what you smell. I'm sure there are some great noses here. Come on, don't be shy. What did I hear?
Green.
Green, very green. You are right.
Flowers.
Flower, what kind of flower? Peony. There's definitely peony in it. And what is London famous for? What is English famous for? English rose, absolutely. And there's another very important ingredient as a note that you like to have your sandwich with in the afternoon. Did I hear tomatoes? No. Cucumber. You got it. You are hired as a nose. Very good. So now let me ask you the question. When you smell the fragrance of Renew, how do you feel? Calmer, fresh, awake. Do you also notice for the first time that your back is in pain because you've been sitting for such a long time? Did you feel a little bit more awake and alert? So fragrance not only brings us such tremendously diverse emotions, it also has a magically instantaneous power to connect our mind and our body. In our busy life, in our very stressful life, we ran from A to B to C without stop. Our iPhones are filled with calendar items. The problem is we never put me on that calendar. We never put my body on that calendar. So this Renew fragrance is meant to make you aware. How about me? Your body. How about listening to your body? Stretch, relax, whatever it tells you. This is what the magic of fragrance is. But that's not all. When you give it up, many people say of all the senses, one of the things they can give up is their sense of smell. What is it for? I need my eyes. I definitely need my hearing. And I want Dr. Joseph to talk about what happens when people lose that sense of smell.
So, but before we go there, I want to ask everyone, how many of you lost your sense of smell when COVID? Wow, many of you in the audience. So, but one of the things that we know is that our sense of smell is one of the senses that is first to be developed in the womb, but it's also one that degenerates with time. So as we age, we tend to lose a little bit of our sense of smell, and there's many diseases that also contribute to decreased sense of smell. So for example, there are the neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, for which we know that the sense of smell decreases at least 10 years before any other symptoms. So we can actually use our senses, use our sense of smell potentially as an early marker of disease. But one of the things that we know, and many of my research as well as the research of others have shown, that it really has an impact in overall quality of life. And it's important for safety, as we mentioned earlier, so the inability to detect foods. For example, it may affect the way in which your eating behaviors, what you choose to eat or not to eat. You may lose weight, and some individuals might gain weight, depending on what they are looking for in terms of the hedonic appeal that they might be looking in the food. But it's also important for bonding and social interactions. We also see a lot of decreases on the sense of smell with physical health, as well as the just enjoyment of life overall. But again, it's one of those senses, as Mei mentioned, that most of us tend to say, oh, if of the senses, I will just give up the sense of smell. But the more that we are learning with this, we actually need to start thinking about that question. Do you really want to lose your sense of smell? It's very important in the way we connect to each other, in the way we connect with the world, in the way that we appreciate the world around us. So the next time that they ask you that particular question, think about it twice, because you don't necessarily want to give up your sense of smell. Because for many individuals that actually developed COVID and lost their sense of smell, many of the things that you see highlighted here in the slides is what many of the things many of my patients actually mention. I feel isolated. I don't want to go out because I feel like maybe I'll smell, I can tell, and really just affecting their interactions and contributing to isolation. So these are some of the things that could happen if you lose your sense of smell.
So there's a lot of research now going on in different parts of the world to understand more about the fundamentals of our smell system and how to use that to identify disease or to help us relax and help us achieve mental health. I'm very happy to say, for the first time, NIH will be working with a non-government company, which is us, trying to find ways to evaluate. So far, there's really not any standardized test to evaluate how much sense of smell you lost and to what degree you have lost them. And there certainly hasn't been a way to train your sense of smell back. There are a lot of opportunities to get involved. If you or your friends and family have anyone that suffer from the sense of smell loss, please do reach out to us. We will be very happy to work along with each other. As we conclude, obviously we want you to try one more fragrance.
Yes.
It is called Happiness. Yes, it's not an illusion. You actually can follow your nose to happiness. And that smell, it's going to be very familiar. It's juicy. It's readily available. It's everywhere in the supermarket. It's a citrus nose. It may not be something you're as familiar with, but it's yuzu. If you've been to Japan and China, you find this yellowish green oranges very easily. Time and time again, research has proven that the skin of the oranges and citruses often wake us up, give us a sense of brightness, positivity, and in other words, happiness. So what we really want you to do is to slow down and smell roses now and then. What we call mindful fragrance therapy is not an overarching, very difficult goal. It's very simple. In the morning, you wake up, take a walk. The Japanese call them forest bath. Say it simply, it's a walk. Let the beauty of the pines, the ivies, the wildflowers fill your nose, wake you up, prepare you so that you can start your day focused and happy. When you are really tired in the afternoon, like now, take a reed diffuser, find your favorite fragrance, whatever works for you, and do some stretching or yoga with it. In the evening, instead of looking at your iPhone and eat a very fast meal without digesting, go and buy some wonderful cinnamon, some nice herbs, parsleys, cilantros, and gingers, because they are so available. Those amazing aromas surround us. Make use of them. And like I said, smell your nose and follow your nose to happiness.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this amazing well-being content, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.